Yo, what's up guys, it's Fully Space and today I'm going to be showing you how to build a circular farm base. So we want to start with the foundation by building a 7x7 circle. Once again, look up Minecraft circle diagram on Google and it will give you the perfect, accurate representation of how to build this circle. I then went up by 4, started to kind of place a lower layer of logs so I could get the top layer looking like I've placed them on the floor, get them facing upright. And then from each side I build out by about 5 blocks. Really doesn't matter, you can even go 4 or 5. It depends really how long you want your platforms. And then on the edge I add lecterns. I actually do move the lecterns down by 1 and place stairs there instead later on. It was purely a design choice that I chose to do later on. It was actually inspired by Sheep GGMC on Instagram. I saw one of his posts that was really cool. It kind of inspired me to do this build, so I will leave a link to his kind of socials in the description, just so you guys can kind of see what he done or see kind of things he's up to, because he is a really good builder as well. So I give him some credit for the inspiration of this build. I actually used these stair designs that I saw in his build that were really cool. They kind of support the build itself and just make it look like it's being held up right, and instead of just having these 4 pillars in the middle kind of supporting a build that really wouldn't stand up properly without these stairs kind of slanted off and just holding it in place. So as you can see here, we're already gaining a nice foundation to the base. We've got a flat centerpiece. All around this middle is just a complete circle. Then we've got these 4 little corner, these pieces that stick off each edge. And then I'm just going to slab around the middle, fill it in completely. And obviously we've got the stairs holding it up. And then the 4 pillars at the bottom holding it up as well. That is pretty much all we've done so far. I then started playing around with stair design. Didn't really like it in the end, got rid of it, scrapped it. Obviously when building you're going to be testing and playing around with many different designs, so just be careful when you're doing that, because obviously you can end up playing around with them and yeah, they look horrible, but at the same time it's always trial and error, so just keep trying and replacing it if you don't want it. I always done it a lot through this build. I actually had a roof on this build that I then wiped it off. You'll see that later on, but there's so much you can kind of play around with. Do and remove, so I'd recommend just keep playing around with it and you'll come up with creative ideas. Every build I generally build is pretty much freehand from and I build it just kind of off the top. I just think of or see things that kind of inspire me and I kind of go from there. So these builds do come out a bit different. Obviously I can do step-by-steps if you need. However, the past few step-by-steps I have done on this channel haven't gone too well and you guys didn't really a lot of the comments seem to prefer the kind of time-lapse purely because they could see what was happening and see the progress of the build itself. So I think I'll be sticking to doing these for a time. But anyway, I continue adding these circle pieces to each corner where the bits stick out, just so we have a full circle on top now. And then add some more slabs underneath and some trapdoors to get a nice curve effect from the underneath. Add some lights on top. There is a whole section in the middle of lights that I'm actually going to remove just because they stick out through the bottom and it looks horrible. Now we head on to the middle and I'll start just adding in each kind of doorway. We're going to have 4 doorways for each section. So obviously we've got 4 different ways to enter the house, and we've got loads of windows as well. I'm just going to play around by adding some stairs above the doors as well, filling in each space for the window and just basically getting a rough idea of how we're going to do this build. So you've got kind of a rough design in the middle here of what's going to happen. Then we're just going to add these extra poles on the outside too, so we've got some more support beams going in. We will actually later on detail those support beams just so they look a lot better, but for now we're just going to go around, add a bit of lighting to the underneath of it just so we can actually see what's going on under here. Then we'll head over onto the inside as well and just quickly throw down some birch floor and then obviously filling it with some light again. I'm just replacing some of the top materials with just a few pieces of slabs instead of the stairs because they actually clip through the floor. So you'll see what I mean by later on, but obviously it doesn't matter, you can keep the stairs. But yeah, just going in through inside, just doing the birch floor and the glass on each window. Obviously on the top here you can see now where the little staircase is that leads up to each platform. It's actually a slab instead of a stair because the stair seems to stick through the floor. So just throwing down, use some slabs instead. And then obviously I build up by 3 on each side. Thinking about building a roof, scrap the idea completely, so I built up this triangle roof. You could actually do this idea if you really wanted to. However, I don't think it worked out too well. It just looked way too much out of place for me. So I kind of went with a more circular build and circular roof style with actual glass roof and a few trapdoors. This just, to me, is already, once I started building this, I was like, okay, we'll give it a go. I'm going to leave it in purely because I can show you the right and wrongs of when doing things. And it kind of shows you my creative process when building as well. So I kind of started building it and I was like, this doesn't look look up to my standard. I didn't really enjoy the way it was being built. It was like sculptured. It looked horrible. It looked like the build itself was way too wide for this roof, and the roof didn't really cover it. So after building it, I kind of flew away from it, realised this isn't really what I want. But you know, I couldn't inspire you to do something else with it, so I just completely scrapped it. I've got rid of it like so, and then we just kind of started to think, what else can I do for the roof? So I came up with the circular in the middle. Obviously we have a circle, so I just kind of came up with these support beams connecting from the bottom, and they come all the way up to the support beams, and then support beams will create that circle that we have in the middle, and then we'll fill that with glass, and that will give us a really nice cute kind of roof. It really fits in with the theme of the build too, with these stairs, and just makes it look like a giant kind of dome. It's kind of an odd build. It does look quite interesting. It's more of the purpose that you have plenty of space for farming stuff. You've got plenty of space for storage. You can store anything in this house, literally. Like, you can store storage boxes underneath the house. You'll see that later on when I go into first person. But basically, because of the path block is lower than a normal block, you can actually store things underneath that. That's a little tip for you guys. You actually will see that later on in first person. And then obviously we're going to quickly go around the top of the roof, just around the edge with some slabs, fill that in, and then fill the rest in with glass, so we just have a nice little glass roof. I'm going to keep the 4 entrances open at the top so you can elytra into your base, because obviously once you get late game, you're going to be elytraing about. So if you want to, you can fly straight into your base through each of the 4 kind of entrances. And then around the outside, I'm going to go with wheat, carrots, potatoes, and beetroot, so you've got plenty of farming and just food, so you're never going to really run out. Obviously it's not the most efficient way to farm, but you've got plenty of place to farm at least, which is something you can always do yourself. Even if you don't want to use the farm anymore because you built an automatic farm, you can leave it there for aesthetic purposes and just make your build look very nice, and give a bit of colour and variety to it, just make it look a lot better. So once I've done that, actually, we're just going to quickly head around and just check everything that is pretty much okay. I just wanted to make sure I was happy with everything that I've done. Kind of thinking what I can do with the build as well, and I decided to go around the bottom, add in these little trapdoors around the pillars for kind of support beams to look like it's holding up the build, give it a bit more thickness towards the bottom as well. They will actually collab with the farm later on, but it's fine. And then add some stairs on those beams holding up the build, add a trapdoor in each corner, add a lantern underneath that on the corners as well, and you get a nice outside piece. Then I start playing around with a stone brick, just brick, trying to get a foundation for a giant circle that goes around the base. This took quite a while because there was just so many times I was like, it doesn't quite fit. There was a lot of playing around to get this right, but eventually we got it right, and we have this whole circle that went around the whole base. This was absolute pain. I believe it was like from the middle I done 3 gap wide, and then it was like 4 blocks out, 5 blocks out, 2 blocks out, 1 block, 1 block. And I had to repeat that literally all the way around, and eventually you'll see that I come up with this whole design. Once I got this all the way around, I then add a path in to each section, add some gates in at the front of the walls as well, and then fill it in with a bunch of farmland. Obviously I then later on did actually copy and paste a few of the farmlands in and realised it messed up my wall, but I did change those in for the first person build, so you guys won't have to worry about that too much because you won't really see it, but you might see it when I'm copying and pasting, but I didn't realise it messed it up until later on. However, obviously when we come to first person I've already fixed it. And then from the top here I'm just adding a few lighting in, add some trapdoors around the roof, add some buttons as well for a bit of detail, and basically finishing off the top of the build. And now we've got this wall on the outside that is made from stone brick, cobblestone slabs on top of the stone brick, and then fence, and then walls even connected to that. It kind of goes the whole way around in a circle. And then we add in each path, each on every single direction that we need. We fill it in with gates too on each way so no mobs can get in. And then obviously create farmland around the each section. I actually did start playing around with a water design here, didn't really like it in the end, so I just kind of filled it in. Obviously you can have water in it and make your crops go a bit quicker, but I don't think it was really that necessary, so I kind of got rid of it in hopes that I kind of wanted the creative design purpose, so just more making it look better than just having the actual efficiency of the farm itself. And then I added this nice little path in with some slabs just going up and down with a little wavy pattern in each side, so obviously you can't just run straight over your crops, and you've got a nice little barrier from there, but you can still walk on top of the slab and head into your little farming field. And then underneath these slabs I actually put some lights later on and some barrels. When we go into first person you will see that we have a mixture of barrels and lights, You can't actually see the lights, but it lights up the path, which is a really cool idea. And the barrels you can see because they're underneath the slab, the slab even, not the flab, that is floating, and you can just right click and take stuff out the barrel. So you have so much storage. And then obviously we're going to finish off this build with a nice little farming section around each side. So we've got 4 sections to start farming up. I actually do one manually by hand and then just copy and paste the rest in. So I'm going to leave you guys to watch this kind of next little bit. It's just me filling in the farming area and adding in the gates, and then hopefully from there you guys will stick around and watch the first person of me just kind of walking around showing you what this build is about, what it's got. And hopefully you guys get some inspiration from this, or you can build something similar to this, or you even actually manage to build the whole design itself. Let me know if you want to see any more type of videos in the comments. Just let me know any ideas. I'll see if I can do them or not. But thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in first person. So now we're in first person. I'll show you around the build. We start on the outside. We got a whole circle of gates, so you can go into from any side you really want to. We've got every single kind of farm here. We got a mixture of carrots and wheat here. Up the top we got wheat. We've also got carrots, potatoes, and beetroot, I believe, up there. Just underneath every single slab here as well is a bunch of storage. You can actually put storage underneath these slabs too, purely because the path block is lower than a normal grass block, so you can actually put storage in there. However, I've put lights in there just to light up the path at night time. And the same under the house here, you can store stuff under the house. You've got a nice decoration on the outside, bit of wall indentation as well. And then we head on side into the trapdoor, in the normal door even. We've got a door here which actually needs to be moved back one. I'm not really sure why that's forward that far, but oh well, we'll move that back. And then once you're in anyway, we've got a little hanging kind of ladder that takes you upstairs. Basically this is perfect. You can kind of elytra into your base through the top here. So you've got 4 ways you can elytra in. You can elytra through the sides, but you will land on your crops and completely ruin them. But up here is more of just a farm area. Just a bit of high air, like loads of loose space up there you can do stuff with. Mostly there for the purpose of using your elytra and farming. Then down here we've got a nice little brewing area, kitchen, smelting area, and then obviously your bed, which is just kind of shoved under this little bookshelf here. Really small, simple inside setup. On the outside we've got these lecterns that kind of create this nice little design. When you're looking at it at this angle, I actually got this idea from a person, I believe his name was Sheep GG or something, or Sheep MC. I cannot remember his name. I will leave a little comment just thanking him for the idea. I did get a few little ideas from looking at a few of his builds, and they've been really good, so I'm gonna give him some credit for that, some inspiration. So I will put him in the comments just so you guys can go check him out. And I also want to give a quick shout out to another person who did a build on my 25 build video. He actually fixed the lectern so you could light the portal with it. I will actually put his channel in the description too, just because he done this little video on his channel where he basically managed to get the lectern to light a portal, and that's what I was saying about doing in one of the videos. And I feel like because he done that, we'll throw him some credit because it was pretty cool to look at as well. And it was just something that I kind of came up with on the spot, and then he turned it into an actual idea. Yeah, so I thought that'd be pretty cool. I can't remember their exact usernames, which is quite bad, but I will leave them in the description or in the comments for you guys to check out. So make sure you head over there. But yeah, this is pretty much from the outside. They've got a few little simple designs of trapdoors and buttons at the top here. We've got buttons on the side, lantern on a trapdoor there too. Trapdoors underneath with slabs just to kind of give it a bit more of a curved underneath effect. And obviously the lecterns and buttons here. Basically a really nice simple outside. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more content. Also follow me on Instagram for a few sneak peeks and everything. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.